Hello everybody, my name is Vito and today it's time for another part of playthrough from Gran Turismo 3 and it's gonna be probably one of the most exhausting championship. Today I have one of the most exhausting championships you can actually take part in because now I have only 4 super championships and events left. After you pass super license exams, you have 4 events in professional league. Dream Car Championship, Polyphony Digital Cup for the fastest driver of normal car, normal sports car, like the Wind, which is something like a makeover of Mega Speed Cup that we don't have in Gran Turismo 2, but it came back in new form for Gran Turismo 3, and also first time one and only Formula GT. But first I need to check out my home garage because I took a long break from this game and it turns out I will use again this Tomikai ZZ2 for Dream Car Championship because I don't have Subaru Impreza LM Edition or nothing like that, and being honest, I'm not a big fan of some dream cars that you have in Gran Turismo 3. Honestly, I preferred those from Gran Turismo Concept 2002 Tokyo Seoul or Tokyo Geneva. So, pardon me. Well, I just need to check out some other things. Did I had turbo applied for this vehicle? Nope, it was not. Just have to see everything else. Everything else is applied to this car. One thing for sure, super slick tires. Okay, so after 3 or 4 months of absence here, it's time to check out those super events in professional league. So, during this year, the only events I have left to acquire 100% of completion for this game is this. Dream Car Championship, Real Imagination from the joy of driving to the thrill of victory. Polyphony Digital Cup for the hardcore GT fan, all the peak races from each series. It's something like a pro version of normal car cup you have in Gran Turismo 1 and possibly in Gran Turismo 2. Like the Wind. Yeah, it's not a Mega Speed Cup, but just like the Wind. In test course. And for the first time, Formula GT for the professional who has conquered all of GT. So, today I have Dream Car Championship, which which have 7 races. This is a series of 7 races, just like in Amateur League. And Dream Car Championship, as you may know, it's all about those LM editions you have in whole Gran Turismo series. Something like what happened before this popular Vision Gran Turismo. Something like this. So, this series includes Test Course, Grand Valley Speedway, Reversed Trial Mountain, Tokyo Route 246, Akasaka, Reversed Midfield Raceway, Reversed Special Stage Route 11, this popular track. I really hope it would be available for Gran Turismo 7, but I don't think it will be. And also popular Monte Carlo, Côte d'Azur. Let's see the race information. We can get 40,000 credits for first place. We need S license. And there are no limitations. Okay, so those races are going to be very long, 15 to 20 laps right now. So I hope you have something to drink, something to eat, and I hope you have enough time to waste watching me passing this event. So, let's begin this battle. Luckily I have myself something to drink. So it's gonna be an intense competition. Well, intense, exhausting, and very long. Because first race takes place on test course. One thing that you may know for sure is that in Gran Turismo 3 you have a lot of races on test course. Okay, how many races you want to have on test course? Yes. So, first of all, I need to change this gear ratio and make it bigger. There is a chance that I might drive over 230 miles, but I'll just have to see how it works out. As you also see, we don't have Subaru Impreza LM Edition in starting grid. Instead we have another ZZ2, possibly fully tuned, Mazda RX-7, Toyota Tetsa, Mitsubishi FTO, and Honda S2000. One thing for sure, also about test course, is that we have different dream cars. And I think that Mazda RX-7 might have a lot of problems on this track because this car have short gear ratio. Whatever, we could see something about it. Let's go. I actually spent some time trying to explain how it works here, but now it's all about getting the first place and passing this whole championship. The only problem that I might have here is the fact that I have 15 laps on test course, which might be approximately, I don't know, 25 to 30 minutes of pushing this cross button and driving with 220 miles per hour. Luckily I have super slick tires, so there is no chance that I might visit a pit stop, at least on this track. But I think that other opponents might actually do it. Also, as you can see on the course map, I have a feeling that Mazda RX-7 actually have some problems. Also, I have problems with my old controller. Yes, that's one fun fact. This dual shock I have right now is probably over 15 years old, and I have this left analog kinda, it's not broken, but it's just it just works badly sometimes. It's very sensitive in the beginning, but later you actually don't have that problem with it. So that's the main problem. I don't have the dead zone changed in this game because it's not working like that. It's not a PCS X2 emulator where you have a configuration for it. Too bad. Also, I forgot to change oil. My bad. Luckily, I would not have a chance to use this car anymore, so I really don't care about that. Don't on me. One way or another, I know that this track might take 28 to 30 minutes. Front tires are getting heated up a bit, but we'll see what will happen later. Also, yeah, this is a series of 7 races, so likely this might take, I don't know, 3.5 an hour, unless I would spend more time at Côte d'Azur, because if I'm not mistaken, probably midfield reversed also have 20 laps instead of 15, so I will need to get prepared for this. The main problem I have is I decided to use the cross button and not, for example, right analog and key configuration, so I guess I will need to take a little break after I pass this race, just to watch out for my finger. Or rather wait, I might just change the finger. It's like playing on a keyboard. Sadly, I will need to think about buying new controllers soon, because I think that 1 or 2 years and this controller might be actually broken up. Not because of rage, I'm not that kind of guy when playing games, but still. As you can see, I am hitting 234 miles per hour, which is something like 375 kilometers per hour, probably. Right now, the guy on second place is driving FTO. I mean, the FTO LM is on second place. Everybody else is far away from him. Strangely enough, Mazda X7 have max speed of, I don't know, 202 miles per hour before rev limiter kicks in. But still, this car is not so far away from anybody else. Not that far. That's interesting. Just like I said, my analog controller is persistent. Analog stick, I mean. Analog on my controller is very sensitive, so this could be a nice battle. Okay, while I have this straight, I might drink something. That's one way of passing this track. Okay, changing the finger again. Being honest, I am curious how I will pass Like the Wind and Formula GT. Luckily we don't have test course in Polyphony Digital Cup because, fun fact, this is a championship where you have only reversed version of the tracks, so there is no Laguna Seca, too bad actually, and there is no test course, no super speedway, nothing like that. I don't know why you have only reversed tracks, but I guess when this game was made I was 2-3 years old, so well. Okay, because I have very fast Tomikares as a 2, even though the oil might be very badly, not damaged, but, well, I forgot to change oil. In real life, this might actually be a very bad idea because the engine might get damaged. But being honest, I don't really care about that because sure, there is no engine overhaul, but I probably would not have a chance to use this car again, so this is not my problem. But one thing I am sure about is that I am finishing lap number 5, and there is actually a chance that at least one or two of my opponents might be overtaken more than once. Okay, ZZ2 is using a pit stop. They forgot about super slick tires, I think. FTO is again on the second place. There's gonna be a nice race result after this. Unless somebody else is using a pit stop. Not yet. Maybe ZZ2 might have a chance to catch up to Mitsubishi FTO, maybe Toyota Tetsa. Who knows? One thing for sure, ZZ2 might have some problems because if the driver is using a pit stop now, then I am not... I don't want to say that he might have second place. No chances actually. Okay. Okay, lap number 7.5. There goes the third timestamp, something like that. And I am catching up to ZZ2. Okay, that's bad. I got over 240 miles, but ZZ2 is seriously in a very bad situation. Strangely enough, now we have Toyota Tetsa and Honda S2000. Mitsubishi FTO is using a pit stop right now, so there is a possibility that anybody else might catch up to him. So I overtook ZZ2, Tetsa is 2000. So now it's time for... I forgot which car. Because that's very strange that RX-7 might actually be in the second place. Unless those cars are not modified. That would make sense. That would make sense actually, because RX-7, seriously, RX-7 in this game have very short gear ratio. It's probably level 33, not 34 or 35 probably, as I remember at least. Only Subaru Impreza LM Edition is worse because it have level 32. That means 195 miles per hour, 310 kilometers. But as you can see here, Mazda RX-7 have second place, ZZ2 is probably on the last one. Mitsubishi FTO got overtaken. All opponents got overtaken twice. Right now, there's one lap of lead distance. Okay, so there goes a half a race, something like that. And I have 13 minutes in my total time. Okay. That's one good thing about Super Slick tires. I'm finishing lap number 8 right now, and my tires are just heated up. They are not spinning, nothing like that. They work just fine. By the end of this race, I might probably have orange color on my tire indicator, but beside of that, nothing else probably. I mean, that's a good thing actually. You have 15 laps on test course, you can check out how fast your car is actually. And also you have super slick tires, so there is actually no need at all to change those tires. Sure, I might change tires now, or should not change tires anyway, even if I could have racing medium ones. Because this is test course, there is no problem with spinning out the track because you have long straights and long sections. I really hope that your head is not pulsing like, I don't know what. But being honest, driving 15 laps for this is more exhausting actually than NASCAR racing, because you have a chance to release the gas, the throttle, actually. I mean, but actually I am feeling just like uh, Midnight Club Racer at Wangen. Okay, I only have 4 laps left. I mean this lap and 3 others. 3 more. Alright. Okay, another possibility for overtaking before the end of the race. And as I said earlier, this is the lap number 14. Only 2 laps left. That means 3 minutes of this race. Right now, tire indicator shows that front tires are starting to get overheated. Front tires. Tommy Karas is a fast race car, or how could I say? It's a race car without livery. 4-wheel drive train is applied here. As you can see, with super slick tires, it's just a perfect vehicle. Okay. I passed against ZZ2. That's very sad. Here's hoping that beside of test course, this car might have a chance to acquire second or third place. Again, I am passing Altezza, Toyota Altezza and Honda S2000 LM editions. Now I am getting closer to the final lap, and there is not such a big chance for overtaking unless there's a, or maybe not. FTO might be overtaken, but what about this RX-7? Nope. It's not using a pit stop. So okay, I might just pass this Mitsubishi FTO because it takes some time to gain speed. Okay, it might be a possibility to overtake Mazda X7. Tomikara's as a 2 against using a pit stop, so I guess the driver is just giving up. Screw that, I don't have a chance to get 4 for 5th place. I'm just gonna take a pit stop and take my time because I don't care. Well, we shall see how it will work out at other tracks. Alright. RX-7 is overtaken. All opponents were overtaken thrice. 3 times, I mean. And now I just need to finish this race. Take maybe a 1-minute break before I will take part in another race. Maybe. Or maybe not. Whatever. I'm gonna make this marathon one way or another because I have free time and because I am in a good mood to finally finish Gran Turismo 3. Later I will also finish Gran Turismo 2 because why not? Okay, finally. 25 minutes, 34 seconds, and all opponents have 2 laps less for this race. As you can see, ZZ2, RX-7, FTO, S2000 and Tetsa, and on the last place another ZZ2 driven by artificial intelligence. Okay, so ZZ2 needs to run to the finish line. I'm gonna give him some time because I don't care. Okay, let's see those point results, the championship results, I mean. Let's see. 10, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Here's hoping that in the next race those opponents might make a small mix. Okay, 40,000 credits are mine. Okay, so after saving game file, after this first race, it's time for the second race. Now we have 15 laps around Grand Valley Speedway. And I think this race would be not exhausting actually, but I might have more chances to release the throttle button and just use the corners. You can also see how AI is driving my car, so I might just begin the race and okay, so I have 15 laps and super slick tires. Let's see what I can do with that and what other opponents might do. Could this ZZ2 finally get a better place than last? and stop pushing my back, well, luckily I might just get away from them. There's no problem with that. Okay. This one was okay. Okay, even though I have traction control system, there is a possibility for drifting. Why not? This might give me some fun. Okay, so one lap takes 1 minute 50 seconds. I might need to use pit stop at least once, but there is still a possibility that this race might take only 26, maybe even 30 minutes, but I'm not so sure about that. One thing I know for sure, right now ZZ2 is doing his best. This is a perfect race. Right now, after this one screw up, ZZ2s are the fastest cars in this championship. That's really interesting. I'm not speaking too much because I am like right now I'm driving like a maniac. I'm just focusing on driving like that. Just burning those tires. But besides of that, after passing that course, right now I mostly care about passing those other races. Overshoot this corner and that was a huge crash. FTO is using a pit stop this time. And lap number 7 is just okay, Z2 is also a pit stop. I thought that for once Mitsubishi FTO might be in worst place. But it turns out ZZ2 is using a pit stop and is again probably on the 6th place. Oh boy, it's gonna be an intense situation. Right now, Mitsubishi FTO is getting out, ZZ2 now is also getting out, but it's probably the same situation as with Arta NSX in All Japan GP Championship. Even though this car is supposed to be the same as regular NSX and some other Japan GP cars, it's always in the last place. That's very strange. Okay, I overtook Mitsubishi FTO and Tolikara ZZ2. Now it's time for Total Salem Edition. Ouch. It was not supposed to be like this. Okay, now I only have Honda S2000 and Mazda RX-7 to overtake. My bad. Okay, Total is using a pit stop, just like FTO. Again. So there is a chance for ZZ2. Or maybe not, another pit stop. However, I don't know for now because I haven't paid attention, but I think that Mazda RX-7 and Honda S2000 did not enter the pit stop just yet. FTO is using a pit stop again. This is the third time. I'm feeling sorry for the driver. And Zetsu2 is again using a pit stop. Seriously? No comment. Luckily I have only one lap left, so I will finish this race. So okay, not many chances for multiple overtaking, but I passed the second race for this championship in less than 30 minutes. Okay, let's see the results. This time S2000 is at second place. Is at the second place. Then we have Mazda X7, Honda Altezza, Mitsubishi FTO is at the fifth place, and again the last one is another ZZ2. Okay, let's see these championship results now, how it looks like. Turns out that RX7 is at second place, S2000 is at third. Okay, so it turns out that RX7 and S2000 and also FTO and Altezza are fighting for points right now, and two SS2s you have in this game are just far away from anybody else. Okay, so it's time for the race number 3, and this time we have reversed Trial Mountain. Again 15 laps, but Trial Mountain is a very short track in my opinion, so I think this race might take even less than 25 minutes. One way or another I might have a lot of fun driving through this track, because just like Seattle, Tokyo Road 246, some tracks from GT Concept and some tracks from GT4, I really like Trial Mountain. It's something which I liked from almost any part of Gran Turismo series. Also, when if we have Trial Mountain in Gran Turismo 7 changed or not, it's also very good for me. So let's check out after some time again Trial Mountain, see how I will pass this race and how other opponents might be far away from each other in game results. Okay, Trial Mountain Circuit, second version. There would be a chance to crash into Mitsubishi FTO. Instead I crashed into ZZ2. And just push forward. Push forward, far away from them. if I ever have enough money to buy PS4 Pro, maybe in this year, maybe in 2022, I'm curious how people would react to my driving style, even though if I would not crash into anybody, still driving like a maniac through those tracks. Just like I said, this race might take 22 minutes and that's it, because the best lap time is less than 1 minute 20 seconds. Also, even though I have problems with oil, engine oil, I am still driving Atomica Z2 fully tuned with almost 900 horsepower, almost because of that problem with oil. ZZ2 driven by AI is still in the second place until it might enter a pit stop, but there is a possibility this ZZ2 might actually change its fate, bad word. Okay, cutting the corner. That was bad. Fear hit me. Lap number 4. FTO and ZZ2 are using a pit stop. That's something I wasn't aware of. Even though I really like Gran Turismo series, probably my driving style is main evidence that the real driving simulator is not so. In Gran Turismo, this motto, the real driving simulator is not accurate. That's what I could say. Sure, you need to watch out for your tires and something like that, but beside of that, I have a feeling that Gran Turismo 1, Gran Turismo 2, Gran Turismo 3, even Gran Turismo 4 and 6 only, are not as real as it could be. Sure, they have a lot of tracks, a lot of cars, you can have lots of fun playing this game in hours, but seriously, could you really drive like myself in real life? That's impossible. Not because of this damage, car damage, which is absent actually in this game, but because of the physics, because of this. This behavior is just psychotic for a driver, in my opinion. I never saw rally driver or race driver driving just as crazy as myself in real life, unless those people have a death wish. But that's why I like games made by Kazunori Yamauchi. Japanese pronunciation. One way or another, Polyphony Digital makes good games. Well, very good games actually. In some ways, just perfect. But the one main problem is the fact that the real driving simulator is it's too much of a term in this game. Whoa. That's how you drift, even if you have traction control system. Yeah, those physics are also what I was talking about. Sure, Gran Turismo just have those physics. You can't get your car pulled. There is no damage. There are also no flips, nothing like that. Listen to an FTO again using a pit stop. One thing that's very interesting, I am ending lap 7, they are actually starting lap number 7, so something was off. I have a feeling it's not because of a tire change, but because they are just giving up. I might be wrong, but seriously, changing tires every 3 laps at this track, okay, at least that collision was not so crucial. I mean, very bad. That was a perfect overtake. I wonder how many pit stops Tomica Rezo 2 and Mitsubishi FTO might take. 3 or rather 4. Because I have a feeling that other drivers don't use pit stop. Or doesn't use a pit stop at all. It's like this popular rubber banding you can actually see in Gran Turismo. Like this Mitsubishi GTO and Tomica Rezo 2 are rubber banding to other opponents right now, but every time they get close, they just need to use a pit stop. I forgot how this term was called. Something about a bad circle or something like that. You have one situation, there's a second, a third. Whoa! That was too crazy even for myself. Ouch. Okay, there are no chances to pass this race in less than 20 minutes, but I will get close enough to this time anyway. So that's something different. Okay, this is the fourth time FTO and ZZ2 are using a pit stop. Okay, I got an engine lag. Okay, need to catch up. RX-7 finally decided to use a pit stop. Somebody else decided to drive into a pit stop instead of over and over ZZ2 and FTO. Okay, third race is over. This time, even though there was a problem with the pit stop, ZZ2 is finally out of 4th place, and RX-7 decided to use a pit stop, so he got down to the 5th. I ain't gonna take my time with this stuff. Whatever, let's keep it that way. At least ZZ2 now have a chance to just get up in the stats. Could get up at least. S2000 have 15 points, RX-7 12, Otetsu 9, FTO 7, and ZZ2 5. That's interesting. Okay, so now we have another race. Now, 4th competition, challenge, race. Is Tokyo Road 246 Akasaka. Again 15 laps. And another possibility for ZZ2 driven by AI to get up in the stats. Maybe even have 4th place, not just 5th, and definitely not last. Let's see. As it's Tokyo Route 246, there is a possibility that I might overtake almost all opponents after first corner. Hello. Also, Tokyo Route 246 is not such a long track. Sure, it might take 1 minute 40, but I am not so sure about that right now. We'll see about that. hitting 200 through Tokyo in this Tommy Kaira, and 2000, well, this game was made in 2001, but in 2021. Oh boy, it could be a nice battle with Smokey Nagata. That was a perfect way of driving. Very bad. Too early. I could make a perfect power slide again. Okay, this one was very good. Not only I did not crash, but also I was close enough to this wall. Now I screwed up. Again. Z2 and FTOLM now are using a pit stop. Pitting in. They are starting lap number 7, I am finishing it, so let's change the view for a moment, see. Okay, Z2 is at the 5th place and FTO is at the last one. That's a nice change. Whoa! I was very close to a wall and I still did not crash. And being honest, I don't really feel in myself like there's a huge amount of adrenaline in me. Caffeine neither, because even though I am a coffee drinker, I only had one today. Just in case you wonder if anybody ever does. Okay, this time too early through this section. I overtook twice the Nikaido Z2 and Mitsubishi FTO. Now let's check out what about other drivers. Alright. Mazda X7 and Honda S2000 have second and third place. Aldesa is in the fourth, ZZ2 is probably in the fifth, FTO is a loser. Okay, lap number 10, I am getting much closer to Mazda X7 and Honda S2000. Okay, they passed this stadium. I'm not sure which one of the stadiums in Tokyo because I've never been in Tokyo and I haven't checked Google Maps. No product placement intended, just in case. No, seriously, I only checked out once from Tokyo. When it comes to Tokyo, Tokyo Drift and videos, Tokyo Road 246, Gran Turismo versus real life, but I never got information yet about the stadium or anything else you have in here. All I know is that in Gran Turismo 3 and 4 it is called Akasaken files. Yes, because I was checking hidden files. There's just this boom for hidden tracks and checking them out. GT Planet and everything else. But also I heard that in Gran Turismo 4 and Tourist Trophy there's something about Aoyama district. I might be curious how far this Route 246 is from C1 Inner Loop. You know, jumping from Tokyo Extreme Racer to Gran Turismo. That's a 2 again, is using a pit stop. FTO with that. FTO is using a pit stop too. Okay. A small battle with Mazda X7. Small bump, nothing bad. Oh, that's LM race cars using a pit stop. That's interesting. 3 more laps. S2000 using a pit stop, right? So I'm guessing Mazda RX-7 LM Edition have perfect chance for a second place, yeah? Maybe not. Or maybe yes. I forgot that this game have strange behavior. If you pass anybody twice, I mean you have 1 lap on lead distance forward, then the lead distance is not shown up. But if you are 1, 2 laps or even 5 laps behind, it shows. You are too far away. That's the problem I have with this game actually. Overshoot this corner. Okay, again FTO and ZZ2. Okay, so I took care of another racetrack. Luckily the ZZ2 had a chance to pass me, but FTO did not. Whatever, at least I know that S2000 and RX-7 are in the podium. Then we have Total Tetzel and race car, and again ZZ2 is fighting with FTO. Okay, so let's see the stats. 2 more races like that, and ZZ2 might be in a 5th place, and FTO might be a loser. No chances for beating out SLM, I think, but there is a possibility to overtake Altezza too. So, prize for me for 1st place. Okay, I needed a small cool off and I've eaten a buffer bar. So, track number 5 in this championship is reverse midfield, which is even shorter than Trail Mountain. So here I have a big possibility. It's actually not just a possibility. I can pass this race in less than 20 minutes, so let's get this show on the road, see how other opponents might fight. If ZZ2, driven by AI, have any chances. Okay, let's go. My bad. One minute 30 seconds, and this is lap number 1. In the second one, I might have a lap time less than 70 seconds. Okay, that's an impressive lap time. I might try to make a hot lap less than 1 minute, but even though I am a crazy driver in Gran Turismo, I am not sure about this car's performance in this stuff. I mean, I can choose Formula 1 car and pass this track in less than 1 minute, but this ZZ2, firstly, have super slick tires, which are for endurance races, but if you have super slick tires, they heat up much longer and the car have much more grip. Yeah, I'm just power sliding. This is not a strict drift. It's a power slide because I'm driving in a very fast car. Secondly, ZZ2, even with these modifications, needs some more adjustments in suspension, downforce, gear ratio, and so on. Right now I am only curious about the price car and how fast I will pass it, but I'm not taking my chances with driving like a nut job on the highest level. I drive fast and I am crazy, but I don't like crashes and mistakes. So I'm not taking any chances with this. Okay, I am lost. This side of first map, probably FTO, enter the pit stop. But not ZZ2, I haven't saw information that ZZ2 could fit in. Nope. It should be Mitsubishi FTO, so if this is true, ZZ2 might use a pit stop soon. Because I see. Was a long name for a car, and all opponents are far away from each other. Okay, that was a big mistake. Okay, ZZ2 now is using a pit stop. But all cars are driving very fast, so ZZ2 have some catching up to do, rubber banding actually. Yeah, I'm guessing the ZZ2 is now rubber banding. That's really interesting. Mitsubishi FTO have problem with driving fast. The difference between myself and this driver is the fact that his car is probably not modified at all. But seriously. Midfield Raceway, reversed, Pro League, and AI cars are exceeding track limits. Yes, I am talking about AI also because AI in those games is supposed to be professional, cautious, something like that. Level 2 is using a pit stop. I know that FTO might use a pit stop again, so ZZ2 actually have a chance to get on the 5th place. That was a very bad way of driving. FTO is using a pit stop, but ZZ2 is using a pit stop too. Okay. This would be interesting. Okay, ZZ2 was faster. Nope, FTO was faster. ZZ2 is behind him. Let's see how this Mitsubishi FTO might drive through this long hairpin. Okay, I don't see any possibilities that ZZ2 might actually get 5th place in championship stats. That's pretty sad. "16 minutes, 29 seconds, and the race is over." Okay, RX-7 is 2000 and that's FTO ZZ2. Let's see the stats now. S2000 have 25 points, RX-7 22. Nice. Tetsa have 15, FTO have 10, and ZZ2 have 8. No chances. I see no chances in getting ZZ2 in mid place. Okay, race number 6. Special Stage Route 11 reversed. Again 15 laps. That's very strange considering the fact that in midfield we have 15 laps instead of 20. But I think that Côte d'Azur, the last race, might have 20 laps. Now we have 15 laps on popular track that was in Gran Turismo 1 and Gran Turismo 3. Was supposed to be in Gran Turismo 2, but after Gran Turismo 3 got hidden in GT Concept and did not have any chances to go back anymore. That's pretty sad. Whatever, at least I have a chance to drive on this popular track and race with all these fast cars. So let's go. Race number 6, 15 laps, Special Stage Route 11 reversed. Right. Ouch. Okay, I guess they like it rough. We are passing the section that was supposed to be around 5. Yeah, it's that hairpin. We are passing the popular entrance to this old 90s version section. Yes, section. Now just driving fast. too fast for this section because it was difficult. And to the finish line. It is it special stage route 7 in background? Don't know. Again. I guess I wasn't driving on this track too much. At least the reverse better than. Don't care too much about that. Third time's the charm. Whatever. Luckily we don't have any damage in the cars. So I don't bother myself with this. Startup number 5. Startup number 5. ZZ2 is using a pit stop. Right. Now it was okay. Okay, I even got best lap time. Let that be a lesson for you too. Okay, that was good. Another best lap time. That's just perfect. That was a little better than all these times before. It was just a small crash and I did not lose too much speed. Perfect power slide. Now that's how you drive your ZZ2. FTO is using a pit stop. ZZ2. Am I supposed to do it? Just like him? I highly doubt it. But nope. FTO pitting in. ZZ2. Wait for me! That was very bad. lap number 12, and right now I can see that some of my opponents are giving me a challenge, because right now this lap number 12, I spent 20 minutes racing on this track, and just now I have a chance to overtake Mazda RX-7 race car. Ouch. Okay, only 2 laps to finish this race. This pre-finale. FTO is using a pit stop. ZZ2. Should I go there too? Okay, that was probably a turbo lag. Just like in Tokyo or somewhere else. No, in Trial Mountain Reverse they had this problem. A small bump. that's using a pit stop. Okay. One thing I know for sure is that ZZ2, driven by AI, is in the last place. I am in the first place, no matter what right now. And there's nothing to change in championship stats. RX-7, even though have not so good hit ratio, it still drove fast and had second place, or third actually. I forgot, whatever. I might just check out when I will make a video of what I'm recording right now. Anyway, 27 minutes, 30 seconds. Something like that. Yes. 27 minutes, 26 seconds, and I finished this race. Again, RX-7 is 2000, though that's FTO and ZZ2, so ZZ2 driven by AI is in last place, and there are no chances that maybe a better driver. All those pit stops. Alright, so 60, 29, 28. There's a possibility that RX-7 might actually have a nice battle with S2000 at the final track, but FTO and ZZ2, nothing to change. Altetsa keep the 4th place. Whatever, let's take the prize and get to the race number 7, the final one. Okay, it's time for the final race. 20 laps through Monte Carlo, or rather Côte d'Azur, because licensing issues and stuff. Anyway, as you can see, ZZ2 is in the last place. Mine is in the first place. The second one is in the last place. RX-7 is fighting with S2000. Altetsa and FTO have their places. Altetsa will finish in the 4th. FTO will be in the 5th. ZZ2 at the last. Instead of passing this race, I'm curious if RX-7 will get more points than S2000. And also we have 20 laps, probably not because of the fact that this is the final race, but because of the fact that Côte d'Azur is short. We have a twisty urban circuit, but it's only 2 miles long, so I don't know. Whatever, 20 laps, final race. Maybe I'll get a perfect prize car, like, I don't know. I might need to check out it. Whatever, let's go. As always, Côte d'Azur is that kind of track where you can just overtake all opponents, almost all opponents at the first corner. And ZZ2. Also, this is a twisty urban circuit, as I said earlier, and luckily I should not have many problems with my finger, because this is a long race. Driving with analog controller can be difficult in some ways. Seriously, I'm passing right now Dream Car Championship. I'm not sure what will happen if I set to pass Polyphony Digital Cup. Like the Wind actually would be brutally easy, because you just have 20 laps and you afford another 787D? I don't know. Maybe? Whatever. One way or another, I need to focus on prize cars from Dream Car Championship and Polyphony Digital Cup, because there might be a chance to acquire a very fast vehicle that might be useful for Like the Wind. Then, after passing Like the Wind, it's all show and go in Formula GT. Luckily I have FO94H, which is, if I'm not mistaken, Williams W11B, driven by Damon Hill, because Nigel Mansell driving McLaren from '86, and there was also a Williams driven by Ayrton Senna, but this is FO94S, which is the most expensive car you can actually afford in Gran Turismo 3, beside of hidden car Nissan Skyline GT-RM spec, which is available in GT Concept because it was supposed to be available in Gran Turismo 3, but licensing, car wasn't finished and stuff. Just a small trivia for you. Trivia fact. Anyway, this track is a bit long, but luckily we have twisty urban circuit, so it's not that difficult. Yes, it's not that difficult. I just don't need to bother myself with driving very fast and just getting away from opponents. All I can do is just focus on corners rather than speeding up like an idiot. The only problem is the fact that this race takes 20 laps, so I don't know. Right now, 32 minutes, maybe. Okay, this could go really wrong very quick. Just like now. Okay. That's the benefit of driving in Monaco. At least it was something. What's interesting actually in this race, as you can see now, I was waiting for this moment. FTO is using a pit stop, ZZ2 probably too. No, ZZ2 is at second place. Whoa, what a change. ZZ2 is at the second place. Not sure about pit stops, but I highly doubt it because Gran Turismo is more about corners and not about speed actually. So there is a small chance that ZZ2 might actually make a huge difference in whole championship stats. At least there's a possibility. This might be a spark of faith, something like that. This small change is just, I don't know what to say actually, because I really thought that ZZ2 don't have any chances while fighting all opponents. It turns out that it might just make it to the 5th place, maybe even overtake Altezza, which would be big. What I am saying right now? I guess I am too excited about this. Okay, ZZ2 is putting in. Nope. Still driving fast. Let's see now race positions. Who is where? Because I know that ZZ2 is in 2nd place, FTO is at the last, Altezza is at the 5th. Okay, there is a chance that ZZ2 might fight. Maybe. Okay, so we have ZZ2 driven by myself at the 1st place, driven by AI 2nd. Now we have then we have S2000, RX7, Altezza and FTO. Okay, if ZZ2 don't visit the pit stop, there is a possibility that ZZ2 just might have a chance to push it to the 4th place, but I don't think it would be 100% sure because it would be ex aequo. Unless this race would count as it's ZZ2 is in the first place, then they might push it to the fourth. Whoa. ZZ2 now using a pit stop. Okay. ZZ2 using a pit stop. S2000 still driving. I could see what happens all of this. Because ZZ2 only got overtaken by S2000 right now, and maybe RX7. There is still a possibility to fight with Otetsa, and FTO don't stand a chance because now the driver of Mitsubishi FTO here uses a pit stop too often. So yes. That was hilarious. Let's see when the S2000 will fit in. Because that might be an interesting show. I'm aware that SS2, no, ZZ2 could not make it to the fourth place, but if ZZ2 could get it to the fifth place, that might be a huge success nonetheless. FTO hitting in. Whoa! That was a perfect lap. FTO is in the last place. A big change. Luckily this championship, I thought it would be very exhausting, but luckily I don't feel really exhausted, rather hyperactive. But the problem is the fact that I need to take a break after passing this championship of anybody else. I'm gonna do in a few hours. Just cool off and, well, you know how it feels to play a game for a few hours, don't you? A few hours in a row. Okay, another best lap time, even though I made a small crash here and there. And it turns out I might finish this race in less than 30 minutes. That's nice. ZZ2 beating in again. What? Oh, and I also had a small wall glitch. Okay, so ZZ2 decided to use a pit stop while he actually got better place than S2000 or X7 or Tetsa. Right now I think that ZZ2 is only not overtaken by Mitsubishi FTO, but I'm not so sure about that. Don't me. Whatever, he goes lap number 15 and I will be putting into those opponents, trying to find out who is where. There's a possibility I might do it. They could get away from me before I finish this race. Okay, also I checked out my tire indicator, lap number 16, and those tires are just starting to get overheated. A bit, just a bit. so I should just avoid doing any pit stops during this event. No pit stops actually on any track. Even for the Azure with 20 laps. That's perfect. Oh, what a change. FTO and RX7. S2000 keeps the second place in championship stats. I don't want to play bumper cars. Scram. Let's see anybody else. So it turns out that at Conde Azur, ZZ2 is actually catching up to anybody. Like, see for yourself right now. I passed RX7, not ZZ2, RX7, FTO and Artetsa. Right now I'm pushing forward, close to ZZ2. Is at the third place, so S2000 is at second. Artetsa is at the fourth place, so no chances for pushing to the fourth place, but still. Fighting with FTO and actually winning, if it's possible, because of the pit stops. Whoa, that would be interesting. Okay, I took care of this. ZZ2 is not yet using a pit stop again. Good for me. Altessa is using a pit stop. Whoa, NFTO. Right, so RX7 is pushing his luck. Maybe he could keep his place. Well, he have good stats anyway, but if Altezza is using a pit stop and FTO, then looks like the game is up. ZZ2 using a pit stop. That is some distance from S2000 and RX7, but S2000 is gonna overtake him. RX7 probably too. Luckily Altezza and FTO are far away enough. Okay, ZZ2 tried to keep up and RX7 don't stand a chance. That's perfect. But S2000 have second place. Final lap. Here goes nothing. All or nothing. Actually. S2000 is using a pit stop. Now ZZ2 have last chance and won the second place. I'm just waiting for stats. There might be a chance for ex aequo with Altezza. And it's over. Dream Car Championship from Pro League is done. As you can see right now, it's even better. ZZ2 is at second place, RX7 is third, S2000 fourth, FTO fifth, Altezza at the last place. Oh boy, let's see the results. I am waiting for it. RX7 and S2000 are ex aequo, but RX7 got second place, not third. Altezza had 19 points, but ZZ2 took out FTO. Perfect. Okay, let's grab that cash. I'm done with this event. Take the cash, prize car. I need to take a break. My battery and my camera also starting to go off, so let's go. Okay, 40,000 per each race and $500,000 for winning this championship. Okay, time for a prize car. Let's see what I can afford. Okay, so we have Formula 1 car. Yes! I got it! One of the fastest cars you can have in this game. Toyota GT1 race car TSO20. Now I know what I will choose for Like the Wind, because of that Wily glitch or something like that. Okay, I needed to take a small cut off because my memory card is gone. So, try again. I got this Toyota GT1 race car in this playthrough. I'm gonna modify it and use it for Like the Wind. There's a possibility that I might do this video, solution of Like the Wind and possibly Formula GT during September or October, because I need to finish this game and I have a lot of free time right now. So, for Polyphony Digital Cup, I bet I will choose a Nissan R390 GT1 road car. Now you know. For Like the Wind GT1 race car, and for Formula GT F094H. So now it's only a matter of time when I will make the videos, how are they gonna look, and how long they're gonna take. So that's all I have for now. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you did not waste this time. You had some fun actually. You felt adrenaline maybe. Okay, so I'm getting out because my camera is gonna turn off any minute. Stay tuned for next video and have a nice day. See you maybe next week at Polyphony Digital Cup. I'm gonna try to do something with that, but maybe I'll do it in a week. See you soon.